Once, there was a person who didn't know the answer to use mouse or tablet. Hello and welcome back. Today I will be talking about tablet and mouse. In the video you will see me sculpting one head with the mouse and the next one with the tablet. At the end of the video we will compare two of them. As well, I will try to compare and tell what are the differences, what's happening, and what I do with my tools while sculpting, so it becomes much more clear what is happening. This is a mouse sculpting part. So I started from the cube, I used the subdivision modifier 3 times and applied. As you can see, I'm using a very low level of subdivision and not adding a lot of polygons right away, to make it a little bit easier for me to control what's happening while using the mouse. As well, you can see I'm changing a lot of radius and a lot of strength options, because when you're using a tablet, it depends on how strongly you press your pen on the tablet, and that refers on how much strength and radius you get in your sculpting. And I was very confused because I didn't sculpt with mouse for a very long time, so I had to keep changing my strength and my radius over and over again, which made it a bit slower for me to sculpt. As well as sculpting 10 minutes with my mouse, I started feeling a sharp pain in my hand, and I actually thought I'm gonna stop after 10 minutes and go have some break, but I didn't want to give up. So as you can see, I'm using a lot of clay buildup, a lot of grab, some draw, and it's pretty hard for me to get the strokes correctly with using mouse. So I'm going over and over again the same part, grabbing and moving everything into place. I tried making eyes a little bit different way with the mouse. I thought it's gonna be a bit easier. Well, modeling with the mouse is very usual. Even when I'm sculpting with the pen, I usually add the spheres with my mouse. So you can see I have a lot of problems with placing my mesh into the places with mouse, controlling it, and it just felt not too much natural, especially after not using mouse for so long, because I have my tablet for around 5 years, so after that moment I stopped doing it. So this sculpt is literally 5 years last time I used mouse. And actually I was very surprised by the result I got while using the mouse. It was way better, but I definitely felt very uncomfortable, and I wasn't feeling too much joy using mouse. I had that uncomfortable moving. It was especially hard for me to have a consistent brush strokes, and those areas which I had to go over many times felt very horrible. It's not just very awkward to keep your mouse button pressed and move your mouse over and over again. It cramped up the muscles in my hand, and it just felt not enjoyable. As you can see, I'm adding the muscles. I was having a lot of trouble getting the eye right with using the mouse, so most of the time I went, I believe, over the eyes. Actually, one thing which I noticed about mouse, which is good and bad as well, is I didn't have so much freedom, but I did everything very statistically, and everything like I already knew how it should be, and it didn't have so much freedom. So the head started looking good very early in the process, but I wasn't enjoying it a lot, and there was not much freedom in the sculpting. But I'm almost finished with the sculpt. Actually, I had 1 hour for each sculpt, so 1 hour for mouse sculpting and 1 hour for tablet sculpting. And in the beginning, tablet was faster, but in the end, the results actually shocked me with the mouse. And I actually liked the mouse sculpt a bit more, but the process I hated way more. So what you can get from this is that the tablet is way more enjoyable to sculpt, which I think is the main thing why I like sculpting, because it's so much enjoyable. And of course, getting a good result is very important too. And if you have only a mouse, don't feel like it's not letting you release full potential of what you can do, because at least in this 1 hour scope, I saw that the mouse, even with the mouse, I can create perfectly fine sculpted head and still be happy with it. So I'm ending my mouse sculpt very quickly, just fixing a few mistakes. And this is where I end with my mouse sculpt. I start my tablet sculpting the same way as I do my mouse sculpting. And as always I do, start with the cube, subdivide it. And as you can see, I'm using a bit more resolution, a bit more vertices than I did with the mouse sculpting. And actually this was the first sculpt, so I started with the tablet, and when I got a bit warmed up, then I went to the mouse. But as you can see, I am sculpting way much more freely, and I do have a lot more errors in the beginning of the sculpting, but I'm relaxed, I'm not worrying about it. I have a lot more corrections, as you can see. And I'm not really worried about the settings of my tools, and I'm moving very freely. As you can see, I have a lot of error in the beginning, but I'm not worried about that. So just a lot of scraping, adding, moving all over the place, not really focusing. And I feel like my hand is moving so natural way while using a tablet, and the way brushes works feels a bit more natural to me, I guess because I'm very used to it that way. But I feel much more enjoyment having everything feeling this way than using the mouse. And as you can see, I definitely have a lot more action happening while using my tablet. So I get a lot of things in way faster, like the features like eyes, nose, mouth, ears. I did a really quick ears, and I looking at the errors I created, and look how much grab tool fixes, adjustments I do. And just in general, it feels like much quicker. And my strokes are way more accurate, and just look how freely I feel with my sculpt, moving everything around and not being afraid to add the shapes the way I want them to be. I tried few new things, not really worried about 1 hour mark, because I was so sure I'm gonna have enough time and more than I need. And this is not, I believe, even the half time of 1 hour. Okay, this is like 30 minutes, And you can see already my face is kind of almost finished. So I thought, okay, I have a lot of time, so I'm gonna play with the expressions so you can see how much faster while using a tablet. I'm not sure if it's just because I'm so much more used to using tablet, I got it much quicker, but I believe it does have the fact that with the tablet, I can get my strokes much quicker. I don't need to worry about the settings of my brushes, and everything feels so much more natural to my hand that while not doing much more adjustments, I feel so much better in my hand and in the actions I do. And in the end, I actually got very surprised that my sculpt didn't look as good as my mouse sculpting, but my tablet sculpting had way much more thought put into it, much more details. I did a lot more muscle groups, I did a lot more work and getting my shapes right, but I was having so much freedom and error into the sculpt that in the end I think that it became so unpolished that another one started looking better. But I had so much more fun and the time flew so much faster with the tablet. And you can see how much more strokes I do, how much more adjustments, because this is like so much more freedom for creativity, and I don't like my tools to restrict me, and I feel like the mouse is a big restriction. I use the same tools: clay buildup, draw and grab. Of course, crease and draw sharp is one of those tools who I always use as well. And again, I had a lot of problems with the eyes, as I did in a pen sculpting part, mouse sculpting part. And as you can see, I'm even adding a small details to the eyes, doing a lot of small tweaks, so I had so much more time in 1 hour with the tablet that I felt comfortable using, making more errors because I know I'm gonna have more time in the end. So this is where we end up with our mouse and tablet sculpt. So third thing you probably can see is that the mouse sculpt is way more clean, and it's not exactly a good thing because if we look closer, you can see that I have a lot more definition. With my tablet sculpt, I have a lot more muscles, even if I tried to put them in. I think I had a lot more shape corrections on the sculpt. And let's look from the side view. I actually had a lot of problems fitting the lips with my mouse and making the shapes correctly. So my tablet work has a lot more work put into it in all these small shapes, and I think it's just because when I was sculpting with the tablet, I felt like I had more time and more enjoyment, and everything I did, I wanted to do more. And with the mouse, I was just trying to get my sculpt done and look decent, and it definitely turned out to look very great. But I think that in this 1 hour, as much as we can see how much more work I put it in my tablet sculpt, and just in 1 hour, and it means if my sculpt is take 100 hours to finish, it's gonna be 100 times better while using the tablet. Now, is it just because I'm faster with the tablet? And by that mean I'm more used to the tablet? Maybe, but I think it's not. I think for sure that with the tablet, my strokes are way more accurate, way more quickly, way less error, way less fixing, and in the end, the result is visible. So, thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and I hope you finally understand that there's not really that much different in the quality you can get with the mouse. I definitely recommend everyone getting a tablet, and you don't even have to buy an expensive one. But I hope you liked this video, and I hope I'm gonna post the new one soon, and see you in the next one. Bye!